Welcome to Mastermind, a really special program which has become sticky because people are loving it. Mastermind 2024, the Women Leader Special, powered by Nucleus Office Parks. My name is Hrishi K, and the core idea is to interview dynamic ladies who power their companies, handling crucial roles and drive growth as well as value for employees as well as partners. And today, my very special guest is Tina Gosar. She's Chief Financial Officer at Khaitan Co, really one of India's most eminent law firms. We're very proud to have Tina in studio. A little bit about Tina. She is obviously also affiliated with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, simply because this takes some beating, ladies and gentlemen. Her academic achievement is quite unparalleled. All India 27th rank in the Chartered Accountancy Final, the CA Final. And she's a member of the Management and Executive Committee at Khaitan Co. Tina, great to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Hrishi. It's indeed my pleasure to be here.
I'm intrigued by your job. Can you describe how you became interested in finance? What motivated you to pursue a career in the field of finance, Tina?
So I come from a very modest family. At that time, when I was being brought up, women were really not taking up any career. I was doing my graduation. While studying, I got fascinated to the financial professionals who were delivering so much of value to the society, and then I pursued my chartered accountancy. I took up my first job was with a chartered accountancy firm, with a focus being internal audit and assignment. And I learned in various organizations their system, processes and finance. That's where I thought that being a part of a corporate, I can apply my learnings very well, and that's when I took up a career with Khaitan Company when they were setting up their offices in 2001.
Now, you must have worked a lot with budgeting, a lot with financial forecasting, Tina. What are the keys to good budgeting and great financial forecasting?
So, one of the key attribute is knowing your business very well. Now, that entails knowing the external dynamics and also the contributors which really comprises of your revenue as well as cost. Now, good budgeting involves target setting. However, a budget needs to be flexible to provide for inorganic growth, expansion, and also there are any unforeseen situation, then the budget should be able to take care of that. In order to have a good forecasting system, one has to closely monitor the utilization, billing, pipeline and the cost trends. Also, cross-functional collaboration becomes very important. So as you know what's happening on the ground, you have foresight on really how the year is panning out, and you can make necessary amendments to your forecast.
Let's get into cost reduction. Improving efficiency and cost reduction are the byline to a lot of healthy businesses. What, in your opinion, is, or your experience, is good, effective cost reduction that leads to improved efficiency?
Fortunately, over the last 2 decades, law firms haven't had to go through a recessionary period. Like, having said that, cost management is very essential to maintain the profitability. So we have robust policies and processes which really enables expense management, and time to time we have reviews where we measure ROI of expenses. Efficiency for us is an ongoing process. To me, efficiency is in 2 parts. One is process efficiencies, so any technological adoption or simplifying the process, which really saves time, it really leads to a lot of money. Secondly, it's a financial efficiency. So over the period of few years, we have brought in a lot of measures which really improves financial efficiency. Now, in perspective, I would like to share my experience with COVID, which all CFOs had to navigate through. So COVID for us meant disrupted work environment, client pressures, uncertain cash flows, and we really, to navigate through this, we really, improved upon efficiencies of our systems. We really looked at all our expenses, rationalized discretionary expenses, reviewed contract, made technological improvements, strictly monitored utilization, and I think it was just so much enriching experience how one can sail through such a tough period.
Well, now that we've got your insights on budgeting, financial forecasting, cost reduction, improving efficiency, I think all of this logically leads me to ask, in your opinion, Tina, what are the most important characteristics for a CFO to possess? I mean, something that you have always aspired to have as a CFO, something that you're working towards diligently, and you've probably achieved a lot of it in your extensive career of 2.5 decades. But like they say, there's always miles to go before we sleep. So, great characteristics that any CFO must have or aspire to have.
So, in my view, knowing your business very well is one of the most important characteristic. Of course, financial and technical acumen is a must. Now, having said that, a good CFO should really establish robust processes and systems. Work ethics and your financial forecasting are the key for a good CFO. People management is very, very important. As CFO, you manage internal as well as external stakeholders. Most importantly, I think team building and team management plays a key role, as one really depends a lot on a very competent team, and you have to provide leadership and clarity to the team.
Any mergers or acquisitions that you've worked upon which is really fresh in your mind? Would you describe the experience to us, please?
So I will restrict my answers to the acquisitions that we had as a firm. And in my experience over last 2 decades, firm has acquired great lateral talent, and there are several success stories whereas the pre-groundwork involved aligning to your firm's objective, to review the practice objectives, reviewing whether the team dynamics are correct, cost consideration, evaluation of the brand and client relationship. Post-acquisition really means assimilation, cultural alignment and transition management. In terms of finance, I think wherever we had acquired the talents, we made necessary changes or amendments to our budget. And as such, our experience has been these amendments should be realistic so that it reflects the realistic growth of the business.
Another important quality to have as a CEO, as a CFO, I beg your pardon, is that you've got to be able to manage financial risk, trying to stay stress-free, or trying not for the stress not to come on to the firm as a whole. Experiences in managing financial risk, if you could let us into any of that.
I think I will classify for my industry the financial risk into 3 parts. One is a risk of clients defaulting, secondly a regulatory risk, and third and most important is risk of overheads shooting up. Now, as far as the client defaulting risk is concerned, we are really very diversified. So we don't have a few clients on whom we are dependent. So that's really very well covered. In terms of regulatory compliance, I have a very good team who are experts and who are really keep abreast to the regulatory changes which are happening in our field and which relate to us, and we try and stay updated with it. In terms of overhead, we have a very tight budgetary and monthly monitoring system. So any such increases which we have not foreseen and which are likely to have an impact on us, we really try to get to the root of it very early on, so that necessary adjustments can be made. I think the key is you have to know how is your business going.
So let's talk about managing cash flow. Never an easy thing to do. We'd like your thoughts or experience in managing cash flow.
Managing a cash flow is very important for service organization. In simple word, it means that enough cash is available to meet the expenses without any obstacle. Now it looks very simple, but in reality it involves a lot of work. One has to provide for capital expenditure, expansion, technological development. So our teams prepare capex budgets, operating expenses budget. Finance teams are tuned to do yearly cash flows, quarterly cash flows and monthly cash flows. And we kind of review them periodically. Now, one of the important factor while doing this cash management is also managing treasury. And so managing treasury function is also important because your financial assets also earn certain yield, and we try and maximize yield on our financial assets. It also means that you have short-term and long-term capital raising plans. So in short, it is cash flow, budgets, review of your funds and capital allocation.
You're very famous not only in India and all parts of India, but also overseas. What sets Tina Khaitan Company apart as a law firm, and how you think you've set the gold standard for law firms?
So in my opinion, what Khaitan Company is today is because of its heritage, culture, unparalleled, just an unparalleled ambition to do a top-end legal work, having a client-centric approach, adaptation to the technology. Now, in our pursuit of excellence, we give a lot of importance to the diverse views of individuals, so that not only the work quality is excellent, but it really fosters a very conducive work environment. We are one of the first, I would say, or one of the early professional or a law firm who had a professional structure, management structure. Our management is being done by management committee and executive committee. We also have experts and specialists managing and performing various support functions, and that keeps firms growing. I think one of the also important thing I feel that we really continue, we put so much of stress on continued legal excellence, and we really value experts, lawyers becoming experts, and so as clients like them, and clients reposes that faith on them, and we have a long-term client relationship.
94.3 Radio 1